Hi, Kane Michael here, and we've got a special presentation for you today from Go Fuck Yourself Production Company. This is called the James McConn Tales. It's basically about my grandfather. He's in the new United States of America now, and he still lives. He was in a wheelchair his whole life, so he still rocks the chair, and he's doing different types of things. It's a really interesting show. I hope you enjoy it. It's brought to you by Trailer Park Boys and Netflix. Thank you. Alright, this is Kane Michael back here, and this is the James McConn Show, inspired by Kane Michael and the real James McConn. He was my grandfather, but he's actually one of Jesus Christ's sons. He's a prophet, and he lives in the new United States of Egypt. He still rocks the chair. He was in a wheelchair most of his life. He likes it. He's comfortable with it. He can live no other way. God's not going to change much when you pass on to that other side, Get comfortable, because the ride is just beginning. And it's brought to you by Reebok, Nike, Netflix, Hulu, Hyde Vape Pens, and the Lost Mary Vape Pen. Okay, we're going to get taken off here. This is Lopsoh Strikes, a James McConn tale. I'm so tired of these fucking people, James says as he looks at his wood carving tools. They fucking suck, he says. No lube, no penetration, James says. A straight suck. James wheels around to see what the Johnny 5 chair is doing. Johnny 5 is James' power chair, and he's also James' brother. James is in a wheelchair, and things have always been like that. Johnny 5 is making Fonny a watch from scratch, and it is a tedious process. What the fuck are you doing, James asks Johnny. Johnny is startled, so he carefully puts down his solder set, and he thinks of Fonny at school. He doesn't deserve this life, Johnny 5 spats, and he says, I hate the devil. James spits in his hand and he rubs it on his jeans. I knew he was a liar, James farts, and he puts on a tape. Johnny starts soldering the watch again, and James invites Johnny for a midnight nip of Crown Royal. Johnny thinks of Muriel and he becomes aroused. If only I could remember whose idea it was to come here, Johnny says, and he thinks of James' grandson, Kane Michael. A song comes on and it says, You are my father. The lyrics persist, so Johnny takes a break from his project. The watch is nearly complete, but Johnny needs a screen mount. Johnny cheated and he used a typewriter clip for the memory bank. Other than that, the watch was made from scratch with random parts.
stricken. Handle business, not a joke, yeah. Manners missing, travel different, no control, yeah. Time to listen, time to zip it, keep it close. My description, highly gifted, take some notes, yeah. Lack of interest, why'd you visit, hit the road, yeah. I'm kinda twisted, so keep your distance, be a ghost. Yeah, see, I'm inventive, but quite the menace. You ain't know? Well then I'm offended. Let's jog your memories, here we go, yeah. I went from nobody to kinda famous. Hide my plaques inside a closet, I just can't explain it. My wife, she tells me that she's proud and thinks that I should hang them, but I just leave them on the ground right next to my self-hatred. Yeah, mental health, where's my mental health? Diagnosed with OCD, what does that mean? We'll gather round. That means I obsessively obsess on things I think about. That means I might take a normal thought and think it's so profound. Ruminating, fill balloons are full of doubts. Do the same things, if I don't I'm overwhelmed. Thoughts are pacing, they go round and round and round. It's so draining, let's move on to something else. Fine, running the game if they don't even know it. Like I'm undercover and knowing to blow it. They come out of nowhere, they don't even notice. The flow is so cold you would think it was snowing. I'm under the weather but wind isn't blowing. I got an umbrella for difficult moments. You gotta admit it, I'm very devoted. I'm out in the rain but it don't always alright. Hold up my balloons and cover up my face. I can feel them weighing on me every day. I should let them go and watch them float away, but I'm scared if I do then I'll be more afraid. Tell them how I feel but they don't wanna change. Tell them how I feel but they remain the same. Loosen up my grip, they say that's not okay. Quiet, 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 quiet. Hey, leave me alone. Hey, yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah, leave me alone. When they debate if we're underrated, we're so overlooked that they're looking over our numbers, Nathan. We don't do enough interviews or go out in public lately. We don't post enough on our socials to keep the buzz from fading. Let it fade, yeah, let it fade. Once it's decimated, then you drop a song out of nowhere and all the fans embrace it. Then the buzz will surface again as part of my operation. I don't need advice from my doubts right now, end of conversation. Shut your mouth, yeah, shut your mouth. Better tone it down, close it now. If you make a sound, I'ma change it down. Funny how they be acting loud, coming on it now, floating round. Man, the kid is wild, pretty wild, true. I'm kinda funny, but don't really show it. I keep it together, but have a disorder. I go to my room and I sit in my corner and talk to myself in a language that's foreign. I think up a rhyme and I have to record it, but no, if I don't, I wake up in the morning and question my life again, always avoiding. I hate to be different, but hate to be normal, so I hold up my balloons and cover up my face. I can feel them weighing on me every day. I should let them go and watch them float away, but I'm scared if I do, then I'll be more afraid. Tell them how I feel, but they don't wanna change. Tell them how I feel, but they remain the same. Loosen up my grip, they say that's not okay. Quiet, 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 quiet. Hey, leave me alone. Hey, yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah, leave me alone. Yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah, leave me alone. Remember back in No Name, I said fame called. Told you I hung up, it kinda felt wrong. Finally called him back, we didn't talk long. He asked me how I'd been, I sent him this song. Yeah, think he took offense, he kinda seemed off. I texted him that night to ask what he thought. It took a couple days to get a response, but once I finally did, he said the song sucks. Feel the symptoms, couldn't miss him, wrestle with them, then I pin and flip him. Brought some back up, Noah, you should get some. Who you dissing? Mood is switching, don't come in the kitchen, you should listen. Cooking record for my hands are blistering. So persistent, don't forget this, hold attention. Soul is bending, no pretending, open-ended, low percentage, so demented. Whole consensus, flow tremendous, no apprentice, no incentive, show intensive, so possessive, tone aggressive. Watch your step when I hold up my balloons and cover up my face. I can feel them weighing on me every day. Yeah, every day. I should let them go and watch them float away. Yeah, float away. But I'm scared if I do, then I'll be more afraid. Leave me alone. Yeah. Leave me alone. Yeah. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Yeah. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Yeah. Leave me alone. Yeah. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Hey. Leave me alone. Hey. Yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah. Leave me alone. Yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah. Leave me alone. Hey. Yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Yeah. Leave me alone. Yeah. Quiet, 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 quiet. Hey.
Okay, Kane Michael here, and this is Lopsoh Strikes on a James McConn Tale. Lopsoh says, now, students. All Lopsoh students start praying for James McConn in Johnny's house. James and Johnny are clueless, so they listen to the prayers. I should have been a PennDOT employee, James specs. Johnny listens for Fonny, but all he can hear is Herbert Hoover's vanilla cappuccino maker. He is so loud, Johnny thinks. It is hissing and steaming. It's beautiful, Mary Lou specs. And she comes in the house from outside. She has a blanket and she is holding a small animal that she found in the koi pond. Johnny is stunned and he adjusts his opticals. Muriel, he says, and Mary Lou says, Johnny, I'm tired of you confusing me with your mysterious wife. No one has ever seen Muriel but Johnny. Johnny is busy, so he doesn't hear Mary Lou. You fucking bitch, James says. That's my Pizza Hut blanket. Mary Lou says, look, boys, and she shows them a baby red squirrel. Johnny isn't offended by Mary Lou, and he gawks at the squirrel. What do we name him? Johnny asks. One of the koi fish ate his brother, Mary Lou parks, and Johnny looks scared. The koi are my favorite, James says, and he pulls out a toothpick. He pushes play on a James Dean cassette, and the McConnell house is filled with a musical melody. Meanwhile, the koi fish look nervous. Do you think Muriel bought it, Papa Koi Parks? Then that meat was gross, his partner Floyd says. It tasted like possum, Floyd says. She is convinced we are vicious, Papa Koi says. I hope Fonny is okay, Mama Koi spits, and both koi are aroused by her. It's page 2. Hi, Kane Michael here, and this is a James McConn tale. Lopsoh Strikes, page 3. Back in the McConn house, Mary pulls the blanket back, and James sees a head bouncing to his music. He looks interesting, James rips, and Johnny winks at him. He's a beast, Johnny spits, and Mary Lou says, what should we do with him? Best to serve him up to the gods, James says, and Johnny shakes his head at his brother. Johnny pulls out a small piece of cheese and he feeds the critter. The critter eats the cheese and he nestles in the blanket. Those spics down the street are always looking for stuff like this, James hints. He pulls out his snub-nosed 38 special and he says, if I were his parents, where would I be? Johnny specs, Mary, I can take care of him. Johnny, he's a critter, Mary Lou says. Johnny pulls out a North American Mammal Dictionary. Shouldn't be hard, Johnny says, and he reads. Mary puts him in a birdcage and Johnny keeps watching him. James has suspicions that the critter is after his wife, so he ignores him. James stops the tape and he says, does anybody know what fucking time it is? The viewers from the moon laugh and James gets pissed off. Looks like we got one, he says. Page 3. Alright, this is Kane Michael here, and this is Lopsoh Strikes, a James McConn tale. Johnny reads the critter a story, and the critter soon falls into a deep sleep. Johnny finishes the story, and he shuts off the light. The critter chirps, so Johnny turns the light back on. Mary says, good news, boys. The SPCA is going to take the squirrel. They will gradually re-expose him to the wild, Mary Lou says. She hangs up her phone relieved. James says, should be me. That fucking SPCA can kiss my ass, James whispers. Mary Lou, did you see the critter attack, the critter's brother attacked by koi fish, James says, pissed off. I saw a splash, Mary Lou says, and then I found the critter. You remind me so much of Muriel, Johnny says, and Mary Lou swats Johnny's wandering hand. I can't wait for bed, James says, and Johnny remembers Muriel is at her mother's house. The next morning, the SPCA woman shows up and James is having coffee. Hello, she says, and James adjusts his chair. You look like Shamu, James thinks, but James is nice. But James says, nice to see ya. Her name is Tish. She thinks he is so sweet. Johnny gives her the critter, and Johnny experiences human emotion similar to his love for Muriel. James is hungry, so he orders some pizza for lunch. The SPCA leaves, and the little critter spacks. I must alert my men that the plan was a success. Soon the squirrel thinks, Muriel will be mine. Adam Scent pulls into the McConn driveway with Sheet, and the koi fish get nervous. They owe him money, and he always collects. James smiles at his uncle, and another story begins.
You got me feeling diamond
sleep when I got you next to me.
All night, I ride with you. I know you got my back, and you know I got you. So come up, come up, come up. Let's get physical. Lights out, follow the noise. Baby, keep on dancing like you ain't got a choice. So come up, come up, come on. Let's get physical. Adrenaline keeps on rushing in. Love the simulation we're dreaming in. Don't you agree? Don't you agree? I don't wanna live another life, 'cause this one's pretty nice. Living it up, who needs to go to sleep when I got you next to me?